This morning, I woke up to this. President of the United States, a former New Yorker who seems to enjoy stabbing his hometown in the back, talking about no bailout for New York. What kind of human being sees the suffering here and decides that people in New York City don't deserve help? What kind of person does that? Well, I'll tell you something. Every day, President Trump resembles more and more Herbert Hoover, the president who ignored the Great Depression, who didn't care to put America back on its feet, who has been now remembered in history as someone who failed at the most basic responsibility, which is to protect the people he serves. President Trump wasn't there for us when we needed the testing to stop this horrible disease, and now he's talking about not helping us in our hour of need. He says in this interview he's not inclined to do bailouts. He gave a $58 billion bailout to the airline industry. A few years ago, he gave a $1.5 trillion bailout to big corporations and the wealthy. So who is he kidding? He's not inclined to do bailouts now. That means he's not inclined to help firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, police officers, doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, teachers, sanitation workers, all the people who are depending right now on the federal government stepping up and making New York City and New York State and so many other cities and states whole. So we can get back to business, so we can get back on our feet, so we can lead the recovery. So right there, he says he's not inclined to do bailouts. He's a pure hypocrite, given how much money he's put in the hands of the corporations and the wealthy already.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.